What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna just be discussing your boy hit Infinite already, day 2 of the new season. This season was kind of fun. I got to use a brand new deck. Well, I used a couple of decks. In this video, we're gonna just go over the 3 decks that I used. We're gonna kind of just talk about how and what their purposes are. But mainly we're gonna showcase just the last couple of games going into Infinite. Tomorrow I will be releasing videos on gameplay, walkthroughs, and all that other stuff on the 3 other types of decks. But in this one, we're gonna just kind of briefly talk about it. And yeah, so I came up with a deck last season. Now I know that this deck is somewhat running around. I did predict that the Professor X and Storm Lockdown deck was probably going to be really good. I used this deck originally to hit rank 142 last season, which ended up putting me at the top of the Snap.fans leaderboards. I ended up hitting like rank 58. I know I forgot to screenshot the 58, but I did get a screenshot of me hitting like, I think 60 something. I'll show it up in the screen here. But yeah, basically I used this deck going into this season. Now it was a little hard at first because a lot of people were using a lot of newer decks, especially with Nebula being in the picture. So with that being said, you could still use this deck. Now I have another modified version of it. I believe it's this one right here. So you have Nebula, Daredevil, you have armor to protect the Nebula, you have Jeff, Rogue, Brood, Silver Surfer, Storm, Juggernaut, Killmonger, Polaris, and Professor X. The sole purpose of this deck is that you play basically Nebula on turn 1. Turn 2, you know, if you get a chance to put the armor there, fantastic. If you have the chance to put the Daredevil down, even better. Turn 3, you have the ability to put Storm down. And then turn 4, you typically want to play Juggernaut. Now, the Juggernaut's really helpful because you can put the Juggernaut behind Storm and it'll just bump them off that lane. Thus, you can just win the lane. You don't even have to have Nebula necessarily in that lane, but Juggernaut himself will win that lane, and that's 5 power. Now, even if, say, for instance, they Doctor Doom, you still have winning conditions with Silver Surfer, just allowing and buffing up that lane. You have the Killmonger in there because originally you did run the Killmonger in this deck. Now, it does kill Nebula, which is a, you know, kind of a downfall, but it's still pretty useful because if you don't get your Nebula out and someone nowadays is running a Nebula, you can kind of just take care of it. Now, the other good purpose to this deck is that even if they happen to, say, get a 1 cost in there or a 2 cost, you can take Polaris and pull them out of the Storm lane. Going into turn 5, you're going to have that insight with Daredevil, and it's just going to be really easy for you to do the Professor X. Even if you tie the lane with them, you can always put Jeff in there, and it's never a wrong time to have it. This deck is really flexible. You have Brood and Silver Surfer. That alone is like 14 power if you play them on turn 6. But there's a couple variations of them. I'll show you real quick what they are. I ran this one for a while too. This one had Spider-Man. I did use, I believe I used Rescue for a while instead of Spider-Man. So that's a really good option because you can Professor X on Rescue on turn 4 and it will win you the location. So it's really, really, really good. And you still have Daredevil for that insight. We're gonna go ahead and show the other deck that we used. I believe it was a deck made by Snapster. I used it for like a game or 2, and I liked it, but I didn't end up playing it as much. Now, this is a Nebula. This is more of a Wave Doom deck, Sandman kind of style. You have Nebula. Nebula is really good in this because when you get that Sandman out, they basically don't get to contest the Nebula, or if they have to in order to stop it, it's a winning situation. You can slap her in her lane, leave her alone, and then Sandman basically kind of protects her in the sense that, you know, it just, they have to make a choice on where they're going to play. Daredevil's always just great because Professor X is always just, those two are the dynamic duo right now in the lockdown meta. You have Jeff because Jeff can actually be played as a secondary card when Sandman is out. This is actually a really big deal. You can lock down a lane, you can still play one card and then play, Sandman into wherever with Sandman. Sorry, you can play Jeff into Professor X and it just acts as a secondary card, even though you're only allowed to be played once. Electro is really helpful to ramp up into other things like into Sandman. You can go into Doom. You basically you're going to be trying to control two layers of two locations, and then you have all these other options at your disposal. Like you have Arrow to win that lane. That if you're winning 2, you just keep pulling them over. You can Odin the Arrow. You even have Magneto to disrupt one whole lane and just pull them all over, where you can win 2 lanes. It's just a really solid deck right now. I've been seeing this everywhere. Doom right now is, in my opinion, I used to think he wasn't a very good card until most recently after the Shuri nerfs. Doom is probably very prevalent. He's, in my honest opinion, he's probably a top 5 card right now because he's just so, like, with the amount of locations that you can't play into, he's just really good about getting cards in there. So the deck that mainly carried me from, I want to say 79, 85 area to Infinite, we did it with a breeze. We played the Black Bolt Stature deck. This deck was fantastic. I'm going to be showcasing some of the other games in this video while we do this. But yeah, basically you have Korg, Nightcrawler, Zabu, Jeff, Polaris, Darkhawk, Shang-Chi's, Spider-Man, Enchantress, Rockslide, Stature, and Black Bolt. This in general doesn't seem amazing at first glance, but it's actually fantastic because you are able to play a lot of power and a lot of cards on turn 6. The basic premise is you either play Korg or Nightcrawler on your turn 1. You have moving conditions. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to be, you have to remember to do a specific mechanic or different. You have to do a specific type of move on turn 5 for this to be optimal. You basically play Zabu, making all of your 4 costs cheaper, so you can basically play 2 cards at the end of the game. Jeff is just really flexible. He's just everywhere right now, and he's another move condition. Now I'm going to emphasize on the move condition because you have Spider-Man Miles Morales in this deck. You have Jeff, Polaris, and you have Nightcrawler. You need to move one of these cards on turn 5. Now I'm going to explain this to you in a second, but we're going to go back to that we're going to go back to Spider-Man in a second. The Darkhawk's going to be cheap, which is great. But the goal here is you actually want to Black Bolt on turn 5. When you do this, you just make the full commitment. You give up that one turn, you get 8 power with him, and that's fine. What's going to happen is Stature is going to become a 1 cost. She is very, very, very good. If you have this card, fantastic. I would run it. If you don't have Jeff, it's okay. You can swap it out for Nebula. It's not a wrong choice. Or you can swap it out for Luke Cage, or you can swap it out for, I want to say, Daredevil. I think Luke Cage is really good just because you can get into lanes that are, negative effect. You can just be really strong in those negative lanes. I think Luke Cage is a very slept on card. That's me personally, but any real good 2 cost will fit into this deck just fine. The premise is on turn 5, you play Black Bolt and you have to move a card. So you either move Jeff or you move Nightcrawler. It doesn't matter where. Typically you're trying to play a lane that you want them to not be in already, and then you just move them into a lane that you do want them to be in. When you move a card on turn 5, and it has to be on turn 5, playing into Black Bolt, that basically gives you a Miles Morales that's a 1 cost and a Stature that's a 1 cost on turn 6. That means you can still play 4 energy, and when you play 4 energy, you can put down your Darkhawk. This is huge because you not only have a boatload of power, but you basically can play Miles Morales or Stature, and you can separate. That's 12 power plus the power that Darkhawk has. So you basically, turn 1, you play Nightcrawler, Korg. Turn 2, you play Zabu. Turn 3, maybe play Polaris or Rockslide, depending if you have Zabu out. Turn 4, you can decide to play the either or still, you know, if you want to play the Rock Slide turn 4, you can. You can burn the the Enchantress if you want to. You can just play her outright because she's 6 power for tempo buildup. And then you have the choice of usually turn 6. You know, you have the turn 5, and then you discard a card. You have the Stature, and then you have the choice of either Darkhawk, you have Spider-Man. That's 12 power with 2 cards cost, and then you have the choice of enchantressing them depending on what they have, or you have Darkhawk or Shang-Chi. So with that being said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get into some of these games here, and yeah, we're gonna just showcase 2 more of these games, and yeah. Alrighty, guys. Damn it, dude. Now we gotta win 8 cubes, make a comeback. What was that deck? What the heck was that? Unrecognizable? What the heck? It's a Patriot player? Daredevil. I think we can do that. Shang-Chi. Alright, well, we can do it back. We're still winning. And that's a Professor X. Gamora? Okay. That's fine. Not bad, my friend, not bad. We play this, and that. We just don't even play the middle. Is this enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. Actually, you know what? We can do this and that, and we'll snap. Okay. View similar decks. What is this? It's just old control. I carried someone can be by a deck with no brain power behind it. There we go. Fast. Okay. On turn 5, all cards must be played here. Let's see what he's playing. We've got Jeff. Play it there for now. I haven't seen Black Bolt in a little bit. That's fine. Not worried about it. We'll put this here for now, but it doesn't really matter. We'll just put it there to put it there. Yeah, that's fine. I just want to keep them safe. Come on, Enchantress. Fox line. I think we do this now and we move Jeff over. Moon Girl and The Rock. All right. He has 7 cards in deck. This is fantastic. We have Prio. We do this and that. I mean, that's honestly what all we can do, right? He's gonna go crazy. So let's see what he's got. I'm gonna have a 12 power Darkhawk. 12 power. So 5, 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. 23. Plus 5 is 22. Not enough. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Hazmat is not worth it, my friend. What's the second win on you? I don't think... Yes, here comes the third one. He's running discard. I don't think this is really going to help us, though. Because discard in this deck is... I mean, unless he's running Apocalypse, but we can just get rid of everything. This is really good for us. Storm? That's fine. I think we just get rid of his whole hand. We can just do for power. No, that's bad. We'll Enchantress our own guy. Morbius and Swarm. Alright, so Blackhawk is not a very good choice. The 3 power is not really like, it's not going to make a difference for us. So, at least for now, it's not. We have 16 power. We'll have 13. Again, he needs to pop off with a Morbius or something. Oh, Dracula. That can get pretty scary. We just need to make sure we win on this. We need to make sure we win the middle. I still don't think it's enough. Yeah, it was the MODOK. 1, 2. course it lands where it needs to. How convenient. Oh, he has no card, so the Dracula didn't make a difference. You're an idiot. Yes. Excuse me. I hope it takes the Black Bolt, to be completely honest, or the Spider-Man. I don't want it to take Polaris or Shang-Chi. I need those. There we go. That's not good. I think I just don't do anything. To be honest, this isn't the worst thing in the world. No, you know what? He's gonna play... I just don't do anything. He's gonna play Green Goblin on the right if it's a Galactus deck. Killmonger? Okay. I just need him to play a 1 or 2 cost. That's it. That's all I need. Maximus? Oh, so he's playing Surfer. Okay. Okay. We could just give him tempo. We do this. Groot. Okay. There's the storm. That's fine. And then we just do this and this and this. Actually, he's gonna Silver Surfer, so we can just blow him out of the water. This will be 12 power, but I can just destroy him with this, this, and this. So let me see there. 1, 2, 3, 10, 12. So everything will get +2. So we will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 plus the 6 is going to be 20. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And okay. I'm going for it. Did I just lose? No, we win. We're infinite. Why did he snap on that? He was trying to intimidate me? I don't care. I'm gonna take it. Yo, we're infinite, man. GG's. GG's. That's cool. I'll take it. Whew. There we go. Infinite for the season. Day 2, baby. Woohoo! So this is the new card back. I love it, honestly. This is so sweet. I think this is the best card back they've ever had. Hey, look, there's a little Gamora with the yellow eyes. There's Star-Lord. There's Rocket. There's that's a weird looking Groot. I didn't see what it was until now. There's a little Drax. That's cool, man. There's no Cosmo though, but that's all right. Infinite mixtape. That's so sick. Well, that's GG's.